When was the last time you found yourself wanting something so badly, and yet no matter what you did, that goal or that desire seemed to stay just outside of your reach? I mean, we've all been there. We've all known that frustration of being stuck either right at the beginning or right at the edge, just when things are about to happen. Well, today I'm going to help expose that the secret to attaining that desire or that goal is not in wanting it so badly. It's in transforming that want into an absolute need or a must have or into a done deal. So if you're ready to learn how to make that happen in 4 simple steps, then join us on Life Design. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe now so you can join us on every episode. We truly appreciate it. And be sure to engage in the comments section of your favorite platform for your chance to be invited as a guest on one of our episodes. Welcome back to Life Design. I'm your podcast host, Michael Borland, aka Coach Michael. And today we're cutting through the noise. We're going to uncover one of the single most powerful shifts that you can make in achieving anything. And I'm talking anything that you desire in life. I've talked about this many times before. So today we're going to offer you the most simple process that I've ever found available so that any one of you can use it, can implement it into your own daily lives. The first thing we're going to look at in this is the mindset shift. It's taking the want and turning it into a must-have, into a need, and again, into a done deal, as if it already exists. So picture this. There's 2 climbers, mountain climbers, and they're about to scale a mountain. One of them, they want to reach the top. They want to fulfill a goal that they've been thinking about, that they've been dreaming about for almost 3 years. And the other climber, they need to make it. They need to get to the top. They need to get there to save a friend who's stuck at the top with a broken leg. Who are you putting your money on? Who's the one that's going to give up at nothing to get to the top? See, our needs, they push us. They push us through things that are not only uncomfortable, but they push us through things that are virtually unbearable. And when something is nice to have, we generally approach it with a semi-casual effort, or semi-casual focus. But when it's a must-have, there's something in our entire being that shifts into gear and gets compelled into focus, into action, into, I want to say, doing whatever it takes. Now, obviously, within reason, within ethics, okay? But it just changes things. So why would we settle for just wanting something that we've wanted for so long when we can actually make that mental shift to needing it, to it being a done deal? So to transform our lives, it's really about time that we raise our personal standards, okay, or our minimum requirements. Listen, I'm not talking about some occasional, I should do better type of a thought. I'm actually talking about a rock solid, unwavering commitment that we will not accept anything less than what we envision our lives to be, or what we envision this situation to be, whatever it is that you're going after. When we can learn to do that with decisive intention, okay? I'm not talking just commit and start running, but with decisive intention, life can get pretty simple. So let's look at what it really means to raise our baseline or our standards, right? Our minimum requirement. It really boils down to refusal to accept anything less. Okay. When I say raise our baseline or raise our personal standards, I mean carving it like a line in the concrete. Okay. We're not talking about putting a line in the sand where it can be brushed over and moved. We're talking about carving it into the concrete where one side of that line is in the area or the realm of it's good enough, right? That's typically where most people live. But on the other side, it's literally, I won't settle for anything less than, exquisite, great, extravagant, whatever it is, that you're striving for. I'm not settling for good enough. It's got to be great. It's got to be specifically what I envision. Because we really do get what we tolerate in life. And if you're willing to tolerate mediocrity or just good enough, then that's what you're going to get from life. And that is a cold, hard truth that too many of us are okay accepting. And if you're cool with just doing, just a little better than most people, well, then guess what? Again, that's likely where you're going to plateau. Just a little better than the next guy. Think about it this way. What do your current personal standards, what does your current baseline say about you? And I'm not talking to somebody else. When you personally stop and you think about it and you say, okay, this is the bare minimum I'm willing to accept, not just on a temporary basis, but over time. What does that say about you? Okay. Is your baseline, are your standards, are they shouting mediocrity at you? Or are they whispering excellence? The choice is yours. The choice is always ours, mine included. I can either accept mediocrity or I can strive with every decision I make for that something better. That me and that life that I envision. So the next thing that we're going to look at, and you better grab something to write this one down, because here's where it gets real. It's the power of consistent, boring decisions. Quite underwhelming, isn't it? Because the path that we take to what we need, it's not paved with these spontaneous or intermittent, leaps of greatness. It's built with bricks of small, seemingly inconsequential, yet consistent and most often very boring decisions and actions. That's what gets us where we want to be. It's choosing the salad over the French fries. Not once, not twice, every single time. Because that decision is what gets us the results that we not want, that we need. Okay, you guys have heard me say this many times. I talk about getting what we want. But I want to make it clear in this episode. If you truly want something and you're not getting the results that you need to have to get that thing you want, then every decision needs to become an absolute must-have, a need, or all the way to the level of a done deal. It's already there. It's already mine. And yes, this is the unsexy truth. It really boils down to the process is mundane. But within that monotony is the key to the transformation. And this is in any and every area of life, be it relationships, be it business, health, whatever goal, whatever desire it is. It's the routine decisions, the ones that don't make a great story, the ones that don't give you bragging rights. Actually, they do, because very few people do the small mundane stuff over and over. But But those are the steps. Those are the decisions that propel us forward inch by inch until we get the prize, until we get that, I don't know, grandeur in the sky that we say we want. So it really is, the next point that I wanted to talk about is what I call or a lot of people call the commitment to excellence, or the commitment to extraordinary, right? Something far beyond where we're at now. So I'll ask you plain and simple. Are you willing to make 10,000 boring choices? I know, I just threw a big number at you. You're thinking, you wanted to hear 100 or 1,000. Are you willing to make 10,000 boring choices? To walk that extra mile, to do whatever it takes day after day for that future, for that sparkle that you see far beyond where you're at today. Okay, I'm with you in this journey. Don't think that I'm just telling you to do something I'm not willing to do. Okay, I'm in the middle of this journey because this is what it takes. This is what we have to do to get that something special that hasn't fell into our laps. Okay, this is the price of admission to the life that we've been dreaming of for all of us. Look, it's not that winning shot that gets us there. It's the repeated 4 a.m. practice. Look, if you're ready to stop just wanting things in life, and they don't have to be huge things, just something, anything that you feel in your heart that you've been wanting, but somehow in your head or in your life you haven't been able to figure it out. If you're at a point where you're ready to stop wanting and start demanding more from life in that area, then the road ahead of you is clear. There's no secrets, there's no magic tricks. You need to elevate things that you want and turn them from a mindset perspective into an unwavering, unapologetic need, to an absolute must-have. You have to reset your standards, and you got to raise them high. You know the old saying, shoot for the stars, right? We have to embrace that daily grind. It's just a grind of unimpressive, though very remarkable when we're able to do them repeatedly, but unimpressive decisions, boring action steps. And we have to do it because that's where an extraordinary life is created. It's not in big magical things that, everybody points at. It's in all the behind the scenes grind that gets us there. Now, that doesn't mean it has to be super difficult. It doesn't mean, if you heard last week's episode, we're not talking about things that are complex and difficult. We're just talking about the simplest of things that seem so simple they couldn't possibly get us where we want to be. Yet doing them enough times gets us where we want to be. In the last couple of weeks, we've talked about, right, the simplicity mindset. We've talked about overcoming limiting beliefs. Okay, here they are combined into a unified message and a unified purpose. And my question for you is this: is it your time? Are you ready to make that commitment? And I know commitment is an overused word. Sometimes people think of it as a bad word, but it's true. If you are, I'd love to hear what you're setting your sights on. I'd love to hear about the boring decisions and steps that you're making. So share in the comments. Share in the comments what it is that you've been wanting, and because it was only a want, something nice to have, it hasn't come to fruition. Are you ready to commit at a level of, this is an absolute must? And I'd love to hear from you if you are. What are you setting your goals on? What are you setting your sights on? What are you going after? What are the boring decisions that you're willing to make to get what you say you want? What from now on you're going to say, even if to yourself, that you need, that is a must have. Share your journey with us. Let's support each other in this. This podcast is part of that journey for me. If you don't think it gets monotonous every single day to write content, to talk to people, to ask about, what do you think about this? Does this speak to you? It gets monotonous. It's also my passion. It's also what I love to do. Just because I loved baseball as a kid, I played for years. I wanted to be a pro baseball player. Practice sucked. Practice day after day after day. Sometimes it felt horrible, but that's what it took to be a good player. We'll save that story for another time. What happened with that, but this is the price that we have to pay to get to the things that we want that aren't coming to fruition for us. We have to commit to them at a must-have level. So, look, if you engage with us here in this podcast, the things that I'm sharing, these are things that I've seen proven with clients and people in the world through other coaches and sports figures, and just literally hundreds, even thousands of people. If you engage this podcast, it won't only change your limiting preconceptions, okay, but it can actually offer you practical, or it does offer you practical and proven steps on how to adjust your expectations, your strategies, so that you have a more straightforward approach, we'll say, to attaining those goals, to getting the relationships, the business, the jobs, anything in life in general. So engage. Share with us what you're working on. Share with us what those boring decisions are. And let's walk through that journey together. So again, I thank you for being here through this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it spoke to you. And I definitely look forward to engaging with you over it. So please be sure to share and subscribe. Again, always engage. The more you engage, the more we can offer content that you like, the more we can offer help and support, and the more opportunity you have to be invited as a guest on the podcast, if that is something that would interest you. I think that would be pretty cool. So until next time, keep climbing those mountains, not because you want to reach the peak, but because you simply can't imagine settling for anything less. In that case, we'll see you at the top. Until then, live awesome and enjoy your journey.